Okay, so now we are done with our second step where we have set up our machine. Let's go to the Docker intro setup or step. Now, what Docker is, it is similar to VirtualBox, you can say. That means on one machine, we can run multiple other virtual machines. That is what VirtualBox provides us to do. I could have created 5 servers here, 10 servers here, but all these servers are virtual machines, and each virtual machine has its own hardware allocated to it. And if you see, this virtual machine has a memory of 2 GB allocated to it. Some video memory is given. It is using some hard disk space, which is 40 GB, and it is using host networking. So if I create multiple virtual machines, each virtual machine will have its own, each VM contains its own OS, own hardware shared from host. It has its own OS, its own RAM, its own hard disk. So ideally saying own hardware, when we say it is like mainly processor, RAM, and hard disk. So you can say its own processor. All these resources are shared. So these are shared resources. So this makes it little heavyweight because we have to worry about creating another virtual machine which have its own resources. As opposed to that, what Docker came up with was that you do not have, it's like you can say Docker is a very lightweight alternative to VMs. Within one host, we can run multiple different things, and all of them do not need to have their own hard disk, their own processor, their own OS. So it basically shares underlying OS is shared, and it is like you can build your application in one small lightweight unit, which is called kind of Docker file. So you can say Docker is similar to VM, but it is very lightweight alternative to VM. And in case you understand the analogy between what is the difference between process and a thread, like we know process are heavyweight things and threads are small lightweight things. So we can correlate it to like VM is a process where each process has its own set of resources and threads share resources. So that's an analogy, not literal comparison to it, but this is how you can understand the correlation between a virtual machine and a Docker, right? So that is the introduction to Docker. So in Docker, what we do, we create an image, and that image is run. So image file is what we create, and that is what we run. And when we run that, that is called a container. So this is the intro to Docker.